I am Michael Trump, and I bear the weight of a legacy both illustrious and horrifying. My great-grandfather was none other than Donald Trump. Yet, as I stand amid the ruins of a world once teeming with life, his name now echoes with bitter irony. This is the chronicle of an Earth that has crumbled under the relentless assault of environmental decay. A tapestry of events that unfolded like a slow-motion nightmare, extinguishing the vibrant pulse of life one tragic milestone at a time. It all began in 2084. That year, the world experienced an unprecedented heat wave, a relentless, blistering inferno that scorched continents and transformed lush, fertile lands into vast, desolate deserts. In Miami, the rising temperatures melted the polar ice caps of local reservoirs, leaving the city gasping for water as parched earth split and cracked under the relentless sun. Reports emerged of a once thriving Midwestern farm where an elderly farmer lamented that his fields had become a graveyard for our ancestors as crops withered in the unyielding heat. By 2090, the first clear signs of irreversible damage appeared. Acid rain, the product of decades-long industrial neglect and rampant emissions, began to descend upon major urban centers. In a heart-wrenching event in 2095, violent and erratic thunderstorms, spurred by drastic climate shifts, brought down torrents of corrosive rain over the Amazon rainforest. In a matter of days, entire swathes of the forest were reduced to brittle, lifeless skeletons. Towering trees, once symbols of endurance and growth, collapsed under the weight of chemical torment. The mighty Amazon River, the life source for millions of species, turned into a sluggish stream of toxic sludge, its waters carrying the bitter stench of decay. The devastation did not stop there. In 2102, coastal regions along the Mediterranean were overwhelmed by a sudden surge in sea levels. Entire villages disappeared beneath the rising tides, their ruins left as ghostly reminders along the crumbling coastlines. Toxic chemicals from industrial runoff intermingled with the saltwater, creating deadly zones where mutated marine life, twisted and aberrant, swam in eerie, synchronized patterns. These bizarre creatures, far removed from any natural evolutionary design, became living testaments to nature's desperate struggle for survival. As if these calamities were not enough, by 2110, the skies over regions like Scandinavia and New Zealand were permanently shrouded in a dense, toxic haze. The once pristine landscapes became eerie, suffocating realms where the air itself seemed to whisper the regrets of bygone eras. In the ancient forests of Eastern Europe, where majestic wolves howled and elusive lynxes prowled, only haunting echoes remained. The once lively fauna had either fled, been pushed to extinction, or mutated into forms unrecognizable to the natural order. The situation reached a catastrophic crescendo in 2012-20. The Arctic, a region that had long been considered the planet's cooling blanket, began to crumble. Accelerated melting of the polar ice caps triggered massive landslides and unleashed torrents of methane, a greenhouse gas far more potent than carbon dioxide, into the atmosphere. This runaway feedback loop pushed global warming to unimaginable extremes. Entire regions, once habitable and vibrant, were rendered barren and hostile within a single generation. Urban centers that had survived the earlier onslaught were now abandoned, their once bustling streets echoing with the silence of despair. Then came 2135, a year that etched itself into history as the onset of a global famine. The relentless environmental disasters had decimated agricultural lands around the world. In what had been the Fertile Crescent of Mesopotamia, once the cradle of civilization, farmers were left with nothing but dust and despair. Entire populations were forced to migrate, their movements marked by long, treacherous journeys across wastelands. The human spirit, however resilient, began to fracture under the weight of starvation and the loss of home. By 2014-50, society as we knew it had begun to crumble entirely. Economic systems, already strained by environmental collapse, broke down completely. In cities like New York and London, law and order were replaced by anarchy. Once vibrant communities devolved into fragmented enclaves, clinging desperately to survival amidst rampant crime and unending uncertainty. The remnants of humanity huddled in makeshift shelters, while the earth around them rotted under layers of pollution and neglect. I wandered through these desolate landscapes in 2167, each step a painful reminder of the relentless cascade of disasters that had brought us to this brink. I remembered the day in 2084 when I first heard the anguished cry of a farmer mourning his lost harvest. I recalled the horror of witnessing the Amazon's demise in 2095, a day when nature itself seemed to wail in despair. I saw the ghost towns along the Mediterranean from 2102 and the silent toxic forests of 2110, where every gust of wind carried a whispered lament for lost life. The Arctic collapse of 2012, the global famine of 2013-50, and the ensuing societal breakdown by 2145 were not isolated incidents, but rather interconnected tragedies, a domino effect of human recklessness and nature's inevitable retaliation. Today, I share these detailed chronicles not merely to recount a series of disasters, but to warn you, the people of 2025, about the irreversible consequences of our actions. Every event, every tragic milestone is a testament to the profound and irreversible damage we have inflicted upon our planet. As I stand here, burdened by the legacy of my great-grandfather and the relentless sorrow of a world lost to environmental collapse, I implore you, let these events be a clarion call to action. Our future is not yet written. There is still time to alter the course of history. I am Michael Trump, a living reminder of both the grandeur and the catastrophic failures of our past. I beg you, heed these warnings and learn from the harrowing events detailed in this chronicle. Act now to protect our fragile environment, to restore balance to our ecosystems, and to prevent the haunting silence of lost life from becoming our inescapable future. Let the tragedies of 2084, 2095, 2102, 2110, 2120, 2135, and 2145 serve as indelible marks upon your hearts. They are not just stories of despair, but also powerful lessons that must guide our actions today. If we fail to change our ways, the collapse of our ecosystems, and with it, the extinction of our very existence, will be inevitable. May my words echo across time, urging you to act decisively. Our planet, our humanity, and the future of countless generations depend on the choices you make today. Do not let the legacy of destruction become the final chapter of our shared history.